The news hit Utah Valley like a thunderclap. Tyler Robinson, 28, was in custody for the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The Orem Police Department's announcement ended days of fear and uncertainty. A public figure had been gunned down in broad daylight, and the killer had vanished. The arrest brought a wave of relief, a sense that order was returning. Social media erupted, news channels interrupted broadcasts, and people finally exhaled. The tragedy wasn't erased, but the system had worked. Someone would answer for this crime. The streets of Orem and the UVU campus felt safer. This was more than a local story, it was a national shockwave. The shooting of Charlie Kirk, a polarizing political commentator, had escalated fears of political violence. The arrest gave the nation its first concrete answers. Relief came not just from safety, but from understanding. Now the focus shifts from manhunt to courtroom. Motive, evidence, and justice take center stage. The community and the nation will be watching. They want justice for Charlie Kirk, his family, and a shaken country. The arrest isn't the end, it's the end of the beginning. The long road to justice has just started. Tonight, there's a sense we're on the right path. The city breathes again, but the story is far from over. The nation braces for what comes next. Who is Tyler Robinson? By all accounts, he was an ordinary 28-year-old from Utah Valley. He had a job, family nearby, and lived a quiet life. Nothing to suggest he'd become an assassin. But beneath the surface, investigators say, anger was brewing, fueled by online political rhetoric. The break in the case came not from forensics but from his own family. They recognized him in police photos and made the agonizing call to authorities. This act of conscience turned a shadowy figure into a prime suspect. Robinson wasn't on law enforcement's radar nor part of any extremist group. He was a self-radicalized lone wolf, isolated and angry, marinating in online hate. Friends describe him as increasingly withdrawn and politically obsessed. His social media, now under scrutiny, reveals a violent worldview. This is the chilling profile, not organized terror, but the lone individual radicalized online. Robinson hid in plain sight until his rage exploded in violence. The investigation now digs into how a seemingly normal man became an alleged political assassin. His story is a warning of the dangers lurking beneath the surface. The search for answers has only just begun. Imagine seeing a murder suspect on the news and realizing it's your own family. That was the Robinson family's nightmare. Faced with an impossible choice between loyalty and justice, they chose to act. They called 911, identifying Tyler Robinson as the man in the photos. Their information, name, address, details, broke the case wide open. Without their call, the investigation could have dragged on, or worse, the suspect could have struck again. Their courage cut through chaos, giving law enforcement the breakthrough they needed. The family continued to cooperate, providing insight into Tyler's mindset and confirming key evidence. Their testimony became a cornerstone of the case. In moments like these, we often praise police and first responders, but the Robinson family's quiet bravery was essential. They put justice and community above personal anguish. Their decision was a form of heroism, painful, necessary, and profound. They helped make things right at immense personal cost. Their call changed everything. The case turned on a single act of conscience. Sometimes the hardest choices are the most important. Why did this happen? Investigators are piecing together a disturbing portrait of radicalization. Tyler Robinson wasn't driven by personal gain, but by ideology. He was consumed by hatred for Charlie Kirk and what he represented. This was a politically motivated assassination, not random violence. Robinson's digital footprint reveals a descent into extremism, following conspiracy theories, engaging with violent rhetoric, and writing rage-filled screeds. He saw opponents as enemies to be eliminated. His real-world behavior changed. Isolation, agitation, and cutting off dissenting friends. He lived in an echo chamber, both online and off. The target was no accident. Kirk embodied everything Robinson hated. Killing Kirk was, in his mind, a symbolic act against an ideology. This is the terrifying endpoint of polarization. Hate turned into violence. It wasn't just about one man, it was about silencing a voice and intimidating millions. The danger of radicalization is real and its consequences devastating. The shooting was chillingly precise, a planned execution, not a crime of passion. Robinson chose a rooftop near the UVU campus, giving him a clear vantage point. He used a scoped rifle, a weapon requiring preparation and skill. He waited for the perfect moment, then fired a single fatal shot as Kirk addressed the crowd. The attack was brutal and cowardly, violence from the shadows. Robinson's escape was just as calculated, Amid the chaos, he ditched the rifle and outer clothing, blending into the fleeing crowd. By the time police responded, he had vanished. The lack of immediate suspects made the investigation daunting. No struggle, no clear witnesses, just a city in fear and a ghostly perpetrator. But even the most careful plans leave traces. Investigators began to find threads, evidence that would unravel Robinson's plan. The shooter created distance, but not enough to escape forever. The city mourned, but the search pressed on. Every detail mattered in the hunt for justice. The crime scene was just the beginning. The pursuit of the truth had only begun. How do you catch a ghost? Investigators started with the evidence left behind. The discarded rifle and clothing provided crucial DNA and a paper trail. Ballistics matched the weapon to the crime. The serial number traced its purchase. Surveillance footage from campus and local businesses showed a man in distinctive clothing before and after the shooting. The images were grainy, but they gave police a face. The public release of these images led to the Robinson family's call. Everything clicked into place. With a name and address, law enforcement moved quickly. Search warrants uncovered more evidence, matching ammunition, digital threats, and Robinson's online obsessions. Deleted digital traces were recovered, revealing motive and planning. The case became overwhelming. Weapon, video, DNA, digital motive, and family testimony. The net closed fast. The investigation was a blend of technology and human conscience. The pieces fit together, pointing to one man. Justice was within reach. After the arrest, officials responded swiftly and decisively. Utah County Attorney David Leavitt announced they'd seek the death penalty, citing the crime's premeditation and political motive. The FBI classified the case as domestic terrorism, an attack meant to intimidate and coerce. Authorities sent a clear message. Political violence will be prosecuted to the fullest extent. The rapid arrest was credited to seamless cooperation between local, state, and federal agencies. This unified response was a model of modern policing. Officials emphasized justice for Charlie Kirk and his family. Behind the headlines was a grieving family and a shocked community. The legal process, they promised, would be thorough and transparent. Justice would be delivered. Not just as punishment, but as a reaffirmation of shared values. The vow was clear. This attack would not define the community. The pursuit of justice had only begun. This case was solved not just by technology, but by the conscience of a single family. The Robinsons' decision to turn in their own son was an act of immense moral courage. Family bonds are powerful, but they chose the greater good over personal loyalty. Their call was the critical tip that broke the case. Law enforcement relies on community partnership. Public safety is a shared responsibility. The system worked. Police gathered evidence, the public responded, and justice moved forward. The Robinsons' choice was painful but pivotal. They will live with the consequences, deserving compassion even as justice is sought. Their bravery was a flicker of light in darkness. The process of healing and justice began with one gut-wrenching call. In tragedy, conscience can be a powerful force for good. The community stands stronger for it. Justice, in the end, is a collective effort.